Hello all, I'm going to video a screencast of my computer that has the Word document that I put out for this week's study guide. We can't meet in class because of the conditions of the Hurricane Sally has done to roads and power lines down and trees down. And I know I'm in Geneva County off a dirt road and they have told us to stay off the roads, and I'm going to go ahead and listen to them because I don't need to end up in a ditch or worse. So for this week's class, instead of going over the homework of pages, I'm just going to focus on going over the questions on the study guide, because I put the study guide together very specifically to help prepare the students to take the quiz. Most everything that they will find on the quiz, we will have covered in some way on this study guide. So if they do their reading, if you did your reading and you did your workbook pages and you did this study guide, you should be well prepared for your quiz and should be able to make a very good score on it. So see if I can get my screen to cooperate with me what I want it to do. I know you probably can see everything I'm doing here, but I would like to, there we go. First of all, let's talk about this week we were talking about patriotic symbols and American ideals. So in your textbook, it described the flag that the Marine Committee adopted in 1777. So I'm going to highlight 1777 because it is a very important date. I might get a little bit more on it. So you'll see that I put that in there. It's a very important date, and I need you to remember that. But I also want to go ahead and put in here a little link. Hopefully it will paste for me. And you will see, instead of me trying to describe it and you not knowing, there is an image of the flag, because I asked you to describe it, that the Marine Committee adopted in 1777. It is 13 stars on a background of blue in the upper left corner with 13 red and white stripes alternating. So this is the flag that was adopted by the Marine Committee in 1777. It's very important that you remember that year and you know what it looks like. So the second question I had on your study guide is, what president made Francis Scott Key's The Star-Spangled Banner our nation's anthem, national anthem? And that was Herbert Hoover. Oh, I can't type, so forgive me for my spelling errors here. And I'm just going to try to make that a little bit stand out. Maybe a different color would work. So the answer for number 2 was Herbert Hoover is the president that made Francis Scott Key's poem that he wrote while he was on board the British ship during the bombing in the Baltimore Harbor. He wrote a poem about the American flag, which he was calling the Star-Spangled Banner. And when he woke up in the next morning after all that bombing, he still saw it flying. And that to him symbolized that since the American flag was still flying, that the British hadn't taken over that city. So he wrote a poem about it. And later on, our president, Herbert Hoover, made that poem that was turned into a song our national anthem. So number 3, we have how many flags are displayed at the Avenue of Flags at Mount Rushmore? And that answer is 56. There are 56 flags on display. What am I doing? So number 4 was which flags are displayed? So those are the let's see if I can go ahead and do this without having to copy and paste. So those are the 50 state flags, right? Hopefully y'all remember that. The flag of the District of Columbia, D.C., and the territories, the U.S. territories. And I'll go ahead and write U.S. territories. So those are the flags that are on display. So the 50 state flags is where obviously we get 50, plus the District of Columbia would be 51. So there's 5 other flags there. Those are the 5 U.S. territories that we currently have. So number 5 is describe the Great Seal of the United States. And I'm going to type a word or a Latin phrase that you should know and remember. It's very important, especially when you are going to be taking your quiz, to remember. And it is E pluribus unum. And I think I spelled that incorrectly. I'll get it fixed right there. There we go. So this is very important to remember. I'm also going to, I'm trying to. I'm also going to insert an image. If my computer would cooperate with me. I'm going to insert an image here of the Great Seal, if I can find one. Okay, I like this one here. Let's see if I can get to it for you. I know you can see what I'm doing here. A little bit of not wanting to work for me, or it could be the user, but we're not going to blame it on me. I'm going to post that in here. Beside this, it's going to adjust our our things here. We're going to be okay with that. Y'all know which one it goes with. There, I fixed it, but I got the number all messed up. We'll just ignore that though. And I'm going to go back to full screen here. So the next 3 questions or topics is I wanted you to listen to the 3 songs that are going to be actually on your quiz, but they're not going to be in this format. You should have listened to these songs. If we were in class, I was going to play them for you, so I would make sure that you had listened to them. But there's some things I will help you out with since we're not in class and we can't do that. Is the song America the Beautiful. And my numbers keep messing up here. So America the Beautiful, I want you to know the year 1895, and I want you also to know this phrase. I'll put it in quotation mark. Amber waves of grain. And you can see, if it weren't for spell check and grammar check, I would fail miserably. But I want you to remember that phrase there. When you think about America the Beautiful, that song, it will help you out greatly when you're answering your quiz. So go ahead, and if you do not know that, write it down on your guide, study guide, if you have it with you. I also wanted you to listen to Yankee Doodle, and for that song, I want you to think about the year 1767, and I want you to think about the phrase or the lyric in the song, mind the music and the step. So I know you're thinking I'm crazy for wanting you to know all these things and what makes this have to, but you'll understand when you see your quiz. Okay, and also the last song I wanted you to listen to was My Country 'Tis of Thee. And all of these songs, many of you will already have known about these songs, but this song, I want you to think about the year 1983. It's a little bit more recent, and I want you to remember the lyrics or the line, Land That I Love. Okay, I'm trying to type. Okay. So the last question I had on your study guide is, what is the most important American ideal? And this is probably the most important American ideal, and maybe the most global ideal, but we're going to go with American ideal for us, is faith in God. One of the most important things that we can have in this country, in our personal lives, in our community, is faith in God. So I just wanted to go ahead and go over this really quick. I'm almost too far into the timeline here. I can only post less than 15-minute videos. So for your Uncle Sam, for Unit 4 study guide, describe the Marine Community, the flag that the Marine Committee adopted in 1777. I gave you an image of the flag right there. The president that made Francis Scott Key's The Star-Spangled Banner our nation's national anthem was Herbert Hoover. There are 56 flags displayed at Avenue of Flags at Mount Rushmore. Those are the 50 state flags, the DC flag, and the U.S. territories, the flags of the U.S. territories. On number 5, it's right here. Number 5, describe the Great Seal of the United States. The E pluribus unum is in the banner in the eagle's beak. And you'll notice that there's a one, I guess you call it foot, claw, grasping arrows and an olive branch. And you can just take a look at that and see. But the words E pluribus unum are written on that banner there. Again, I posted in the class page, I posted links to the YouTube of these songs. Again, if anything is posted, like this video will be posted to YouTube. I had to open a YouTube page to do this. I'm not very familiar with YouTube. I know that there's ads, and I think they just put ads on anything and whatever the ad they put. So please, parents, hopefully you already know this, and I'll try to send out an email. Please, parents, pay attention to your students as they try to open this and start playing it and while they're using the internet, just for safety's sake, be there to make sure that there are no surprises or anything that come up. I did not include any of that on mine, but I don't know how things like that happen. So just be cautious. The last question was, what is the most important American ideal? And that is faith in God. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this little video. Sorry I can't see y'all this week. Hopefully we'll get back in class next week. But please take your quizzes that are in the blue student workbook. Go ahead and take Unit 4 quiz. I will grade them in class next week. But please do that before you start the activity for next week. I will get Unit 5 assignments posted within the next day or two, and you can begin reading after you take your Unit 4 quiz. You have a blessed week.